Hello and welcome to tonight's video. I'm just going to be showing you some books that I've recently bought on Vinted. And although I've kind of banned myself from buying books because I have so many on my physical TBR, but also in my Audible library, that I had to put myself on a book ban. However, I have been invited for next year to join my boyfriend's sister's book club that she's trying to start, and she's trying to make it super affordable for people who normally wouldn't be able to pay for the big subscription boxes. So she's asked me if I'll join, and of course I said yes. But she's putting it together at the moment, and she's given me a list of 6 of the books that she is going to have in the book club. She's kind of going to do some older books mixed in with the new ones. But she wanted to make it affordable, like I said, so she's given out the list of books early. I don't think she's given them out early to everyone, but she's definitely given them out early to me and a couple of other people. So I went on Vinted and I grabbed them. So for all I know, I might not be reading this book until December next year, but at least I'll have it ready. And I think I got, let me just count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 books. Only 3 of them are actually on the book club list that she sent me. This one being the first one, The Darkest Minds. But as I was saying, she wanted to give people the list early so that they could try and find the books a little bit cheaper, or I know a lot of them are going to read them on Kindle, so you know, if they go into any sales around Christmas time, people can pick them up on sale. So I don't know when we're going to be reading this book, but it's on the list. And this is The Darkest Minds, by Alexandra Bracken. It says it's now a major motion picture as well, but I didn't know that. I've never heard of this as a programme or as a book. You'll have to excuse my terribly painted nails. They're all chipped up. Normally I'll try and repaint them, or if they're really short like this, put press-ons on. But I'm having to film this quickly before I go and get my son from nursery, so I just didn't have time. And I thought, hey, who's really looking at my nails anyway? I have no idea what this book is about, what type of book it is, or anything like that. I know that she said that there's going to be a mix of like genres and you know, YA, adult, space fantasy, lit fic. She's kind of doing a mix of it all. I think it's mostly going to be like her friends. She works at the hospital near us, it's kind of like all the nurses are going to be joining in, and me and some of our other friends and family. So I'm assuming she's kind of worked the list around books that she doesn't think everyone's read or that are to their sort of taste. Now I know the first book is definitely on the list, however I found a bundle of 4 on Vinted for just £2. £2. And I thought for only £2 for all 4 of these, it's not so bad. Hopefully I'll like them and I'll carry on reading the next 3 after this one. But if I don't, I'll just donate them. So obviously the first one is this one, The Darkest Minds. Just by looking at the back here, I'd say this is probably a YA book because maybe like a bit dystopian, not sure. It says she's 16, the main character Ruby, and there's been a mysterious disease that has killed most of the children. So yeah, The Darkest Minds. And then I also got the second one in this series, Never Fade. So I don't want to give myself spoilers for this series in case I do want to continue reading it. Although, like I said, we're definitely not going to be reading it till January because that's when she's starting the book club. But I may not be reading this until December if that's when she's assigned this book to. I know that she has another book club that she runs, where you don't find the book out until you meet for the other book club book. But it sounds like she's had some feedback from some people that say that they'd love to be in a book club, but they just can't afford the books every month. So she came up with this idea of sort of giving out the list a year early. Obviously I'm assuming that means that we won't be having any new release books. I'm not sure if I said, but she's only given me six of the books so far. I think she's still deciding on the next 6, or hopefully maybe waiting to see what else comes out before she picks. So we do have some slightly newer ones, but we won't be reading any sort of new releases because they're all going to be a year behind, definitely. This one has a star on and it's kind of blue themed. Never fade. Sorry, my phone keeps going off, so I have to keep cutting. I'm filming on my phone, so I'm hoping you can even see these. So I'm filming on my phone and I didn't have time to set up a mirror and everything to make sure I could see. So I'm going blind. Bad nails, blind filming. Phone keeps going off. It's all going well. next one in that series that I got in that bundle is In the Afterlight, with this sort of yellow theme and kind of like a moon there. And this one does say it is the final book in the Heart-Stopping Darkest Mind series, but I do have another one, so I wonder if that's possibly about a different character. I'll have to find out. Like I said, I managed to find 4 of the books on the list that she gave me so far of the 6. I will try and look on Vinted or in the charity shops for the next 6 when she gives me them as well. The 2 that were on the list that I couldn't find were the Rose Bargain and what was it called? Oh, that was it. The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy, which I think is pretty new out. I'm not sure. So that's that one, and then there was this one here. So I don't want to read the back again, but the first little line is, it's 5 years since the destruction of the camps. So I'm assuming this is kind of like a time jump sort of thing. And this one's purple with a lightning bolt. What's this one called? The Darkest Legacy. The Darkest Legacy. These are all about 500 to 600 pages in this series. I'll be interested to sort of find out what it's about. It kind of looks like a YA sort of fantasy dystopian sort of thing to me, but it could be anything, I suppose. So there's that series. The next one on the list is this one, which I'm pretty sure is quite famous at the moment. I've seen it around a little bit. Guild by Raven Kennedy. It says it is book 1 in the Plated Prisoner series. Guild, the Plated Prisoner series. On the back it says it's got King Midas in, so I'm guessing it's a sort of retelling or inspired by that. Again, I actually have no idea what this is about. It says on the back here that there is also glint, gleam, glint, gleam and glow. Glint, gleam and glow. like the print is quite large, and it's not that thick, so it's 380-ish pages. Just by the look of this, I'm assuming this is kind of like maybe like a spicy fantasy. Or a dark fantasy or something like that. So I think she's going to try and get sort of a mix of genres. I mean, I know a lot of these ones so far are fantasy, but I'm not sure what the next 6 will be. But I think a lot of her friends and nurses at the hospital mostly read fantasy, so she may throw in some odd ones, I just don't know. And I got this one on Vinted for £1. The next one is one that I have heard of. It is called The Witch That Trades with Death, or The Witch Who Trades with Death, sorry. The Witch Who Trades with Death. And it's the first book like this I've ever had, where it's a hardback with no sleeve. The corner is a little bit beaten up because it's second hand, obviously. I don't know again what this is about, what genre or anything like that. Possibly a dark fantasy or dark romantasy or something like that. A young witch forced to play concubine for her captor finally breaks free to find a life of her own. This one looks like it's about 350 pages. And I have one book left, but it was actually given to me by the seller for free. When my parcel arrived, it had this book in that I'd ordered for £2. But she also put in a different book, and when I messaged her to say that it was in there, she said that she just threw it in for free. if you can also hear those birds tweeting outside. They seem to be going non-stop. This is the book that she threw in for free. Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. I've been seeing this one a lot in the supermarkets recently, so it's either new or has started trending on something, so they've brought it back out again. But it doesn't look like she's ever even read it. I'm not sure who sold it to me, but it doesn't look like they've ever read it. So this one is not. This one is not part of the book club. However, it looks really fun anyway. And I might try and read it over October, over Halloween sort of time. And then I can just move it along. It doesn't really look like the type of book that you'd reread too many times. So once I can read it, I can pass it on to someone, maybe someone at book club next year. Unless, of course, this is in the book club list for next year. That would be very handy, wouldn't it? So I hope that my nails haven't distracted you too much. Thanks for watching.